Officials in Camden County, though, say that a code blue will be issued tomorrow night.
Now, officials in Philadelphia, though, are not expecting to issue a code blue, but they are adding beds to city shelters for people who are homeless.
Eyewitness News reporter Howard Monroe is live in Center City with more on the city's plan to keep people safe. Howard?
Let's take a moment to venture with me, if you will, into the very core of an unfolding American tragedy. The wind here isn't merely a breeze, it's a relentless, biting force. It whips in from the Delaware River, laden with damp, freezing mist that tears through the flimsy nylon of countless tents, seeping deep into the very bones of the thousands of souls, huddled together on the unforgiving concrete. High above, the elevated train line, a hulking structure of rusted steel, rattles and screams incessantly, a jarring, mechanical heartbeat for a community that many have long since abandoned as beyond hope. This is Kensington, Philadelphia. To those on the outside looking in, it bears a chilling nickname, Zombie City. This dehumanizing label cruelly strips away the intrinsic humanity of its residents, transforming fathers, mothers, and children into mere monsters from a morbid horror film. But I urge you to look closer. Look beyond the sensationalized headlines and the fleeting, viral videos. What truly lies before you is not a fabricated movie set. It is a harsh reality, 1.5 square miles where systemic policy failures, crushing economic collapse, and profound human suffering are all packed together, simmering in a freezing, high-pressure environment. Annually, the city channels almost $1 billion into battling the intertwined scourges of homelessness and addiction. $1 billion. Yet, despite this immense investment, the makeshift tents still stand. The discarded needles are still scattered. And tonight, as the mercury plummets dangerously close to zero, thousands of its own citizens are engaged in a desperate, silent struggle simply to survive until the dawn. Is this grim tableau merely a localized problem for Philadelphia alone? Or is Kensington, in its chilling desperation, a bone-cold mirror reflecting the potential future of countless other major American cities? Welcome to Homeless Lens. Tonight, our aim isn't just to observe this crisis from a distance. We are committed to stepping deep inside it. We intend to critically examine the significant financial resources, the medical interventions, and the underlying morality of a system that dedicates a fortune merely to sustain lives, teetering on the precipice of death. Part 1. The biology of a code blue. To truly grasp the harsh realities of Kensington in the winter of 2025, one must first comprehend the devastating impact extreme cold has on a human body utterly exposed, with no refuge. When temperatures plummet below freezing, the city officially activates its enhanced Code Blue protocol. While this may appear as a mere bureaucratic designation on official documents, signifying the deployment of additional resources like more shelters, outreach vans, and police patrols on the streets, Code Blue is a stark, biological countdown to survival or demise. Hypothermia acts as a ruthless thief, stealthily stealing vital heat from the body's core in a desperate attempt to protect the brain and heart. It begins by numbing the extremities, fingers and toes, then progresses to confuse the mind. In its advanced stages, a person may cease shivering, becoming dangerously apathetic, and could even experience a deceptive sensation of warmth, tragically prompting them to shed their clothes just moments before succumbing to death. In Kensington, this perilous biological reality is exacerbated by a pervasive and toxic drug supply. The streets are awash with a lethal cocktail of fentanyl and xylazine, colloquially known as tranq. Xylazine, originally a powerful veterinary sedative, profoundly suppresses the central nervous system, drastically slowing the heart rate and dangerously lowering blood pressure. When a substance that chemically reduces body temperature, is combined with an environment of freezing cold, the outcome is almost invariably lethal. An individual using drugs to momentarily escape the intense misery of the cold might simply nod off and never reawaken, their body fatally incapable of generating the necessary heat to sustain life. While many Philadelphians in their warm, comfortable apartments consult weather apps to decide if they need an extra scarf, thousands of unhoused residents are engaged in far more critical life or death calculations. If I seek refuge in a shelter, will I endure the agony of withdrawal? If I remain here, will I simply freeze to death? This is the brutal, unforgiving reality of winter life beneath the elevated tracks. It is far beyond mere discomfort. It is, in essence, a slow-motion mass casualty event unfolding before our very eyes. Part 2. The warming room's a revolving door of survival. When the urgent code blue alert is activated, the crucial map for survival in Kensington immediately constricts, focusing on just a handful of vital locations. Places like the Scanlon Recreation Center and the Inn of Amazing Mercy suddenly become the most critical addresses in the entire city. By day, Scanlon functions as a bustling community gym, but by night, in response to these dire emergencies, it undergoes a profound transformation into a makeshift field hospital. Its doors remain open 24/7, with cots meticulously lined up row after row, densely packed with humanity. The air inside becomes heavy with the combined sense of damp wool, instant coffee, and the sharp, metallic tang of medical antiseptic. By 2025, these warming centers have significantly evolved beyond their initial purpose. They are no longer simply havens from the biting wind. They have effectively become frontline triage units. Dedicated nurses and doctors navigate the crowded aisles, treating not only severe frostbite, but also the horrific, necrotic wounds often inflicted by xylazine. They are diligently changing bandages on raw, open leg sores, administering crucial antibiotics to combat sepsis, and distributing vital medication to stabilize dangerously fluctuating blood pressure. The city finds itself compelled to bring these essential hospital-level services directly to the homeless population, largely because its actual hospitals are utterly overwhelmed. Emergency rooms are continuously choked with a relentless influx of patients, suffering from severe exposure and drug overdoses. In this desperate scenario, the warming centers function as a critical dam, striving to hold back an ever-increasing flood of medical crises. Yet, embedded within this very design is a tragic, fundamental flaw. These interventions are inherently temporary. These centers are merely emergency measures, serving as little more than band-aids applied to a gaping bullet wound. An individual might enter, find warmth, have their wounds meticulously dressed, and receive a much-needed hot meal. They might even experience 8 precious hours of safe, undisturbed sleep. However, the moment the code blue is rescinded when the temperature creeps just a few degrees above freezing, the doors abruptly close. They are then released back into the very same brutal environment that had pushed them to the brink of death. Can a warm room for a single night genuinely be considered a solution? Or is it merely a temporary pause in an ongoing process of dying? We are expending millions of dollars to sustain lives for mere 12-hour intervals, without providing any permanent, sustainable exit ramp away from the streets. Part 3. The invisible economy of the sidewalk. With the rise of the sun and the emptying of emergency shelters, Kensington transitions to its daily, stark reality. While recent city sweeps may have cleared away the visible, large tent encampments, the individuals themselves have not simply vanished. Instead, they have been forcibly dispersed. They are now thinly spread, scattered across the urban landscape like debris left in the wake of a powerful storm. One might spot a solitary figure curled defensively in a doorway along Kensington Avenue, or to individuals huddled for warmth beneath a tarp behind a desolate, abandoned factory. Elsewhere, a small group might occupy the steps of a boarded-up row home, trying to find a momentary reprieve. From the detached perspective of a passing car window, these individuals might appear as nothing more than static, inert objects. Yet, down on the gritty pavement, a frantic, often unseen economy is ceaselessly at work, a true economy of sheer survival. Each day commences with an urgent, desperate hunt for basic resources. Where can I possibly dry my damp blanket? Where can I find a bathroom I can use without being immediately evicted? And crucially, where can I charge my phone? That phone isn't a luxury, it's an essential lifeline. It connects them to family members who might still hold a thread of care, to case workers who could potentially offer a housing voucher, and fundamentally, to the digital identity that affirms their very existence in a world prone to forgetting them. A dead battery isn't just an inconvenience, it represents a form of social death. Thus, you'll observe people bartering for precious access to an electrical outlet, huddled around makeshift charging stations much like campers gathering around a fire. Beyond that, there's the perpetual hustle for money, panhandling, scavenging for scrap metal, or trading small, often salvaged items. Even the street economy isn't immune to inflation's cruel grip, as the price of a simple bottle of water or a basic sandwich becomes increasingly out of reach for everyone. And overshadowing all these struggles is the relentless pressure of the housing market. While conversations about Kensington frequently revolve around drug use, we seldom address the fundamental issue of rent. The poverty rate within the specific zip code is almost double the national average. It's crucial to remember that many of the individuals now living in tents were not born into addiction. They were once working-class residents whose lives were derailed by unforeseen setbacks, a sudden job loss, an insurmountable medical bill, an unaffordable rent hike. In a neighborhood experiencing rapid gentrification, landlords are eager to sell their properties to ambitious developers. Affordable apartments are systematically being demolished, making way for luxury condos. In essence, the crucial bottom rung of the economic ladder has been deliberately sawn off. Kensington, therefore, is not merely a drug market. It has become a de facto refugee camp for individuals displaced by the brutal economic realities of modern America. It is precisely where the profound cracks in our housing system, our healthcare system, and our labor market all tragically converge. Part 4. The Mind Under Siege. It is imperative that we address the severe mental toll exacted by this relentless environment. Even if you were to stand beneath the elevated train line for merely an hour, the sheer cacophony would be deafening. The train roars overhead every few minutes, while sirens constantly wail, horns blare, and people shout, creating an incessant auditory assault. Now, extend that imagination to living amidst such unbearable noise, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Imagine the torment of attempting to sleep while perpetually terrified that someone might steal your few possessions, or worse, physically assault you. Such an environment inevitably cultivates a specific, profound kind of trauma, which psychiatrists accurately term complex PTSD. The brain, under constant threat, becomes permanently trapped in a hypervigilant fight-or-flight mode. Cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, floods the entire system, inflicting significant damage on both the physical body and the delicate intricacies of the mind. For a great many individuals in Kensington, drug use is not pursued for recreational highs. Instead, it represents a desperate form of self-medication. These substances serve as a chemical mute button, silencing the relentless internal and external noise assailing their minds. They offer a temporary escape, a way to numb the agonizing physical pain of sleeping on hard concrete and the profound emotional anguish of being utterly discarded by society. In the harsh winter of 2025, the activation of Enhanced Code Blue introduces yet another layer of intense stress. The ceaseless forced movement, being abruptly woken by police, repeatedly told to move along, and shuffled from one temporary warming center to another, utterly destroys any fragile semblance of stability an individual might desperately cling to. How can an individual possibly concentrate on the arduous path to recovery when they have no idea where they will even be in the next 4 hours? How can they consistently keep a crucial therapy appointment when their only means of communication, their phone, is dead and they've been displaced to an entirely different neighborhood? Our societal demands often insist that homeless individuals achieve sobriety and get their act together before they are deemed worthy of housing. However, scientific understanding unequivocally demonstrates that this approach is fundamentally backward. It is simply impossible to heal a severely traumatized brain while it remains under perpetual siege. Effective treatment for mental illness cannot occur on a freezing sidewalk. Part 5. The Illusion of Community Revival. Throughout late 2025, the city unveiled a fresh initiative, optimistically named Community Revival. Ostensibly, it presented a promising facade, increased police patrols, more stringent enforcement of anti-public camping laws, and the establishment of a wellness court, specifically designed to redirect low-level drug offenders toward treatment programs instead of incarceration. Indeed, to the casual observer, these measures might appear to be effective. The primary thoroughfare of Kensington Avenue is visibly clearer than it has been in years, and the sprawling tent cities that once obstructed sidewalks have disappeared. But through the critical perspective of Homeless Lens, a starkly different reality emerges. What we witness is not a genuine solution, but rather a mere displacement of the problem. When police clear a block, the individuals who occupied that space do not simply vanish into thin air. They relocate. They are forced to drift into the darker, more perilous alleys and industrial zones, areas devoid of surveillance cameras and the vital presence of outreach workers. This forced dispersal renders the already challenging work of aid groups infinitely more difficult. Volunteers who diligently distribute food and clean needles report now having to actively search for their clients within a bewildering maze of backstreets. Individuals who were once visible and relatively accessible are now hidden away and dangerously isolated. This profound isolation carries inherently dangerous consequences. If someone suffers an overdose on a busy main avenue, there's a chance a passerby might intervene with Narcan. But if they overdose alone within the confines of an abandoned warehouse, the tragic outcome is almost certainly death. Community Revival, while perhaps improving the visual optics of the crisis, has failed to genuinely heal the community. Or has it merely swept the raw suffering out of sight, enabling the rest of the city to once again feel comfortable and detached? This situation compels us to confront a profound moral question. Is our true objective to genuinely assist the most vulnerable, or merely to alleviate our own discomfort by no longer having to witness their plight? Part 6. The billion-dollar question. Where is the housing? We must now revisit a figure that casts a haunting shadow over this entire narrative. $1 billion. This staggering sum represents the approximate annual expenditure across various city agencies, all ostensibly dedicated to combating homelessness and addiction. It is an immense, almost unfathomable amount. With such substantial funds, one could conceivably construct thousands of permanent homes or establish world-class treatment centers. So, the crucial question remains, why does Kensington persist as a harrowing disaster zone? The answer, unfortunately, lies in the fundamental misallocation of these resources. A disproportionately massive chunk of that funding is diverted into emergency services, encompassing police overtime, ambulance rides, repeated emergency room visits, and the operation of temporary shelters. Essentially, we are funding the perpetual management of a crisis, rather than investing in a genuine, lasting solution. It is a well-established fact that it costs significantly more to maintain an individual in a state of homelessness than it does to provide them with stable housing. The astronomical expense of even a single night in a hospital emergency room or a jail cell far eclipses the comparatively modest cost of one night in a supportive housing unit. Experts at respected organizations like Project Home and Prevention Point have been tirelessly advocating for this truth for decades. The singular, undeniable cure for homelessness is, quite simply, housing. Not a flimsy mat on a shelter floor, not a temporary bed in a communal facility. A home, a private room with a secure lock, a proper bed, and access to a shower. The Housing First model, a globally recognized approach, has been unequivocally proven effective in cities across the world. When an individual is first provided with fundamental stability, their mental health invariably improves. Their reliance on drugs often diminishes because they no longer require substances to numb the relentless pain and trauma of street life. Only then can they meaningfully engage with essential social services. Yet, Philadelphia, much like numerous other American cities, remains stubbornly entrenched in a treatment-first mindset. We impose an unreasonable expectation that individuals must jump through an endless series of hoops, achieve sobriety, secure employment, demonstrate compliance before they are deemed worthy of a roof over their heads. And because the unforgiving realities of street life render these demands almost impossible to meet, they inevitably fail. And then, tragically, we cast blame upon them. We urgently need to reorient our spending, shifting focus from crisis containment to meaningful construction. We must cease merely building an ever larger safety net designed to catch people as they plummet, and instead begin constructing a stable, foundational floor upon which they can finally stand. Outro, a mirror for America. As the brutal winter of 2025 slowly yields to the arrival of spring, the snow and ice in Kensington will inevitably melt. The grimy slush will flow away into the storm drains. Yet, the profound, indelible scars etched upon the people who somehow endured this winter will, tragically, remain. Kensington is not merely an anomaly, nor is it some grotesque exception to the purported American rule. It stands, instead, as a stark, unforgiving mirror. It reflects a society that has permitted housing to transform from a fundamental human right into an inaccessible luxury item. It reflects a healthcare system that cruelly criminalizes addiction rather than treating it as the complex disease it is. And most disturbingly, it reflects a culture that finds it far simpler to brand people as zombies than to meet their gaze, truly see them, and acknowledge their inherent humanity. When we cast our gaze upon Kensington, we are, in essence, looking directly into the potential future of every city that persistently ignores the ever-widening chasm between the rich and the poor. We are witnessing the devastating consequences of what happens when the very fabric of our societal safety net is irrevocably shredded. Homeless Lens did not embark on this journey merely to recount a horror story. We came here to pose a direct question to you. Where do you stand on this critical issue? Do you wish to remain a part of a society content to scroll past such profound suffering, averting its gaze? Or do you choose to become an active part of the solution? If your conviction holds that no human being should ever freeze to death on a sidewalk, in what claims to be the richest country in the history of the world, then you, unequivocally, have a vital role to play. Do not simply watch this video and then passively move on. Engage with its message. Leave a comment below, sharing your insights and thoughts on the transformative Housing First model. Share this video widely to actively disrupt the insidious algorithm of indifference. And please, subscribe to our channel so we can continue our mission of shining a bright, unwavering light on the vital stories that others would prefer to keep hidden in the shadows. Tonight, thousands of individuals are attempting to sleep beneath the relentless roar of the L train, clinging to hope as they await the sun's rise. Let us ensure that when that dawn finally breaks, we are truly ready to see them and act. Thank you for watching this crucial report. We urge you to stay compassionate, remain diligently informed, and most importantly, never, ever look away.